Hi, this is Eli from Statistics 243, and I'm just going to walk through how to do a couple of the specific problems now that I'm starting to get a feel for how this works. So for the first lab assignment here, um, we want example 01-28. Go into the file where I extracted everything. Here it is, and I need to save it as a CSV file. Alright, there it is. File, save as, and drop down here, CSV. I'll close that out, back into R. Now, the first thing we got to do is import all the data. So we're reading it in, and I'm going to save this as ex01.28. That's what I want it to be called in here. So that's the first thing I type, then equals. Now I'm going to tell it what is going to actually be called that. So read.csv, and then in parentheses, file equals, and then in quotation marks, the actual file location. So I'm going to go click up here in my folder for Windows, copy, paste, and now I got to deal with this whole issue here. Alright, and at the end I need to drop the actual file name, which was, I believe, ex01-28.csv. Not what I want it to be, but what it actually is. Quotation mark. And then comma, because now I'm going on to something else. Header equals all caps true. And separation equals quotation, comma, quotation. And that's it. I hit enter. Looks like it worked. So ex01.28. And there it is. So now I've got the data in. I'll push this back over. Alright, so what do we need to actually do with this? Well, here, one of the things we're going to do is make, that you're going to do a lot more, is make a bar graph. This right here, to increase the margin, you can just copy and drop in. And we'll throw that off to the side. And now to make a bar plot. So whenever you're making a graph, you're going to tell it what kind of graph. And then you're going to tell it where to pull the data from. So ex01.28 is I guess the object, the file we're pulling it from. $. There we go. It's lagging. And then we can see our categories right above here. So I want to pull from the one with the actual numbers first. And make sure it's in the right case. % of adults. Next, we're labeling the categories. Names.arg equals ex01.28. Weight.category. So that's where all our data is coming from. Now we can label the graph. So main is your header. And we'll call this I don't know. We'll call it weight breakdown instead of leaving it as the file name. And you can actually label your X and Y axis in here just right after that comma there. And I'll put a link in for a place that's got the stuff you can copy and paste for axis labeling. And then last, this las equals 2 is apparently to just put your labels vertical so they'll fit. So in parentheses, and now let's expand this. Find out where I put the actual graph. There it is. We got our label up top, and later on we'll probably actually want to put X and Y axis. Let's actually go ahead and add the X and Y axis labels now. So I'm just going to push the up arrow, pull back up what I had before, come in right after the comma, after my header label, and add xlab equals. And let's call that, what, percentage. End quotation, comma, ylab equals, in quotations again, weight category, quotation, comma. And now when we come over here, we see that that did not overlap well. But you can mess around with that, and there are actually some websites that seem to tell you how to pretty all this up. Alright, what are some other things that we do over the course of these problems? So let's see. One is summary. So I just put summary, and then in parentheses always is, I guess, your object, the thing you want to pull from. So there's our summary. You can see minimum, maximum, and our quartiles. Stem for a stem plot. Now it didn't work. It says X must be numeric. So what that tells me is that it's got the categories, it's got the percent, and it doesn't know which one I want. So let's see if I can make it work. So there's the file I want, and now I do this $sign to let it know which category. So let's try $% of adults. There we go, stem plot. Let's try box plot. EX01.28 $sign for category, percent of adults. There it is. All right, standard deviation I believe is SD EX01.28. There we go. So here's a problem I ran into before. This is file 01-03, the top 10 causes of death one. I couldn't get this to work for a long time. So first thing I'm going to do is read it in. So here we go. EG01.03 is what I want to call it. Read.csv. Here's my file location. I flipped those backslashes. And here's the original file name. I got all that. I hit enter. It's in there now, EG01.03. There it is. Now I want to make a bar plot. So I type in bar plot. Here's my name of the object. I got the $sign, and then I want the count of deaths, the number one to come first, and then I want to label them with the top 10 causes of death, and then I've labeled my graph and my axes. I got the thing to turn the categories vertical, and I hit enter, and I get this height must be a vector or a matrix. Couldn't figure out what that was. And finally, I went and looked in the file itself, and what you'll see are commas. So if you go here, highlight the actual numbers, format the cells, and make them text, it'll get rid of all those commas. I'm just going to save that again. Close it out. Go back into R. I'll remove RMEG 1.03. Oh, 01.03 RM EG01.03. Alright, and now I'll read it in again. I'll just up arrow till I find it. Alright, read it in. Let's see if it appears with commas. Doesn't appear with commas now. And we'll try the bar plot again. Now it works. So, get rid of commas. Alright, I think that pretty much covers all the stuff that's in the initial homework and lab. Let me know if you got any questions.